All right, good evening. Guess who's back in the driver's seat?
Ooh.
Seals.
Corey Burton, yeah. Joining me, Stephen Willis, Jeb Beechum, and Jake Thomas. The greatest SEC night show in the market starts now. We hope you are ready to. We hope you're ready to jump in. The chat is hopefully going to be live and jumping. We got a lot to talk about. Camps getting underway. Quarterback battles happening. Position battles happening. And Alabama trying to figure out how they're going to not let a couple injuries let them down in the national championship. In Georgia, trying to figure out how they're going to stop, how the next defense is going to hold teams to 6.5 points per game.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. No.
If it does, I may just quit life at that point because there's nothing more that can go well. But just kidding. I won't do that. But we are brought to you by BetOnline.ag. BetOnline continues to be the easiest and fastest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league. That includes MLB, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, most notably UFC, esports, and even golf. So there's 2 tours in golf, so we can't just say PGA and think that's golf. We got that whole live tour thing. But
MLS.
I've got this reader too, and if I was MLS, I'd be so mad because I know there's MLS stuff on there.
Yeah. So where can we bet on the Colorado Rapids odds?
Yeah, the Colorado Rapids versus DC United. I need to know right now.
Yeah. BetOnline apparently thinks you can't. So they continue to be the top online resource for all your sports information from live in-game betting, props, and futures. So what you're going to do, you're going to head over to the website today, or you can use that mobile device like this little guy right here, and join today. Make your first sports bet. Use our promo code Bleav50. That's BLEAV50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline is where the game starts. Exhale.
Yeah.
So, what is up, guys? We have started school for just teachers. Kids come back on Monday, so I've been in crazy in service and get my room ready, and we had orientation earlier mode. So I'm ready to go. I've talked to just about every parent in the building. They're asking questions and things like that. So. What better to do than to come here and chop it up with you guys? I look forward. I circle every Wednesday on my calendar, and you should too, because this is the greatest show. This is the greatest show. This is the best show. This is your nightly getaway. So, SEC battles. Ole Miss started camp.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they did. I did 23 videos today. 23.
Good.
Yeah, we still got some breakdowns, Steve. So we need to schedule those.
I did.
How are you functioning?
I was gonna say, did you just do a video every time they completed a pass? What happened?
Well, no. I'm the way I'm covering camp is for everything quarterback battle and big picture stuff. The Locked On Ole Miss podcast is the place to go. But I'm also doing different stuff for TikTok. I've got breakdowns of commitments that are going out on TikTok, and I've got partial interviews and a whole bunch of stuff on the TikTok channel. And there's different things on
Luke
Twitter.
Altmaier put his helmet on first. He's got the edge of the battle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
you heard it here first.
It's a bunch of stuff. So I'm doing a whole bunch of it. Now, a lot of that is like if Lane Kiffin talked today about the quarterback battle, it'll also be on TikTok on Sunday. A lot of it's stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, I'm gonna have to go check out your TikTok now.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta once I get settled in with school and get my groove, I'll start really hammering TikTok again. I gotta do a better job of cutting up the shows. But Beast of the East a couple nights ago, Vinny and I, we chopped it up, talked a lot of random stuff. We ended up talking a lot of NFL actually because camps hadn't started around the SEC until yesterday. So we were just kind of we had beaten all the pre-camp storylines to death. So we just started going in on NFL because he is a Cowboys fan. So Yeah, I'll let that one sink in.
Yeah, the funny thing is with camp is like you listen to everybody and all the storylines that everybody else is going to do. We've been doing for 2 weeks.
We've been talking about this stuff for a while.
This is old news. We've moved on to like advanced level stuff, and they're still trying to ask if Juice Kiffin, the Labrador, is good for recruiting and stuff like that. They have an unhealthy obsession for a Labrador in Mississippi. It's bizarre.
It's reaching Texas A&M levels with Reveille.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Hey Jeb, your boy Velus Jones is making quite the impression up there in Chicago.
You know, actually, I've been meaning to go and read about that because I've seen the headlines and I want to know how he's doing, but I have not had time in the last couple of days to really look at it. So
I think he had like one rough day where he had a few drops, but I think he's showing that he's a vertical threat with his 4.3 speed. So
he's definitely fast.
I'm impressed. So I picked him in my dynasty league.
Nice.
So I got him in the 4th round, ready to roll. He's a part of the Fighting Ceeboos.
I'm in the middle of a fantasy draft right now, but it's one of those where you just there's no time limit. They're just letting people pick as they come. And I made a pick about 4 hours ago, and nobody's picked since. So this is gonna be a long one.
Dang, you gotta put some time limits on that, man. It'll be like October, and there'll be people picking. Like you gotta
it's like ours. We have 2 minutes. Let's snap it done. 2 hours. We're out of it.
Shit, not even
you drafted Deshaun Watson. That's on you.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
He only got 6 games, man.
Yeah, I feel sorry for the auto pick guys. you get Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh my gosh.
You ain't winning anything until week 8.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be the guy that comes from behind and wins the league, though, every time.
It happens.
Just to let everybody know that wants to comment in the chat, you need to subscribe to the channel. So click the link, watch the live stream, and subscribe to the channel. Once you do that, the reason we do that is to basically prevent Russian bots because we were infested at one time. So subscription is necessary, and we closed it down to this one YouTube option.
We wasn't invaded. We was infested.
Yeah.
We was infested. Yes.
Jeb must have searched something about Ukraine, and all of a sudden here they came.
Yeah.
Well, it was the Georgia All Whites, I think.
Yeah, the Georgia All Whites.
And I think he clicked on that first porn link that came through too. Because they just started flying in, dude. It was crazy.
You go to Georgia All Whites, and it's like powder.
Yeah. Georgia All Whites, and there's a few men's groups that you can join.
Oh.
Jeb's like, okay, nope.
Jeb's from Tennessee. Jeb's good. He knows about these exclusive private clubs.
Oh yeah.
Shouldn't have clicked that. Yeah,
you're from Mississippi.
I'm from Georgia, and Jake's from Alabama. We all know about those.
Yeah, and I'm from Mississippi. I mean, come on. Yeah. I'm in the president's circle, bitch.
Yeah. Oh boy. All right. So speaking of Mississippi, you alluded to the quarterback battle.
Mm-hmm.
What is it still Luke Altmaier's to lose? Is it too soon to really?
It's one of those things. Basically, the important thing about spring practice is Luke Altmaier needed to have basically the same lead that he had when he went in. If Jackson Dart closed that lead down, because not a lot of people know, but Jackson Dart was on campus for all of about a month before spring practice. Right. So now he's had a chance to settle in and be normal. This is the point where Luke Altmaier needed that lead to have a chance to win, because Jackson Dart has done things like having Jalen Robinson in California working on the playbook. They're doing real stuff, and they're clicked in. And Lane Kiffin talked today. He said the 3 things that he looks for in a quarterback is timing, accuracy, and decision-making. And to translate that for whoever's listening, that he doesn't care how tall you are. He doesn't care how strong your arm is, but he needs it to be accurate. It needs to come out at the right time and get to the receiver at the right time, and also decision-making, and that is coach speak for do not turn the ball over.
Right.
Do not make stupid late throws over the middle. I've been beating my head into a brick wall. I'm coaching quarterbacks this year, and we had a 7-on-7. We had a scrimmage yesterday, and part of that scrimmage was like an NFL workday. So we had like 1-on-1s, 7-on-7, and then we went to team. So during our 7-on-7 period, our quarterbacks, I guess they thought it was like they were just scout team because they were just floating balls up for interceptions. I was like, what are we doing? We would just sit back and we would look, and then float one over the middle to the field, from the boundary to the field, late. And what happens when you float the ball over the middle across late?
Christmas present for the defense.
Pick City. Pick City. It was like there was one that was almost like a punt.
Oh, wow.
It had high arc and it floated extra. I was just like, I don't think you could try to do that again. But we settled down in the team period. We settled down in 11-on-11, and we were okay. But
Rod Reid, the former Tennessee State head coach and father of Marcel Reid, the Ole Miss commitment, followed me today on Twitter. It's a pretty cool thing.
Nice.
All right. Very good. And he's still at NBA, right?
Yes, Marcel Reid. Yeah.
You're the Marcel Reid expert now at this point. But
yeah.
He that kid's special, man. And
that kid's Charlie Ward.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you get a chance to watch his highlights and kind of follow him, he's the real deal. He's the first like quarterback that NBA's had like that in a long time. Because usually like they've been line up in the eye and just ram it down your throat, and they just
hand it to Ty Chandler.
Yeah, hand it to Ty Chandler in the I formation.
Yeah,
and just roll. They had these behemoths on the offensive line, and they would just road grade you. They were like the Wisconsin of Tennessee football.
And the funny thing is, and I know this isn't Tennessee private school after dark, but basically they were able to recruit, and they were able to recruit those style of players. And those I formation big linemen, that was the team they wanted to build. That was their coach's identity. It was a little bit different than Brentwood. It was sure different than Innsworth. But
Brentwood Academy brought that Texas flair in, where it's like quick screen here. It's like quick screens and RPOs, like dink and dunk down the like modern West Coast is basically what it is.
But it's kind of fun. Yeah, it's kind of fun to see what the teams in the Tennessee private school system do, because they can recruit to literally a system. And they have, like, as Corey knows, I think, what were you, at Father Ryan for a bit? Mm-hmm. So you realize that, like, seventh and eighth graders, you've got private schools going out to other 7th and 8th grade schools and basically recruiting them.
Yeah, I mean, I was right in the middle of it. I mean, I did a lot of that for Father Ryan, and we had to be kind of a spread option team because, like, we were losing out to NBA and Brentwood Academy and Innsworth for a lot of those kids. So we didn't get the top tier kids, but we played in the top tier league. So we had to make do with what we had, and it was a bit of a struggle, but I think they're starting to kind of turn the tide a little bit, and they're starting to get some dudes. Like, they had a quarterback, I think right after I left, his name is I forget his last name. DC Tabscott. They had DC Tabscott who is on the roster now at Appalachian State.
Yeah, that sounds like a creative player name or something.
DC Tabscott. Yeah. It's like the auto-generated draft.
Even at Appalachian State. Yeah, it works.
Yeah, it's crazy. But they transitioned when the staff that I worked for, when that head coach left and they brought in the new guy, they switched to like a spread. Steve, are you familiar with the R4 quarterback system?
No.
It's a guy out of Tulsa.
Wait, is that crazy system?
No. It's Dub Maddox. It's kind of a cult, but if you read it, and so if you read, a lot of the principles make sense. I just hate that it's like got this cult following, a cult name, and it's like this, like the Tony Franklin system is. It's kind of like that. Like high school coaches, like, I'm doing the R4 system, and it's like a system in a box. I hate that. but I do use some of the I do like pick and choose some of the principles from it. Like there's some stuff that really makes sense. But that's what Father Ryan does now. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. What was that?
Somebody
Was that a train?
That was a train. Boiler up.
Okay. All right. But anyway,
I think it's in my house. I think it's. Yeah, that's coming for me. There's a train that goes by like 8:30 every night.
Yeah, but Marcel Reid, his dad, and everything. I've found out that he was apparently the first black quarterback in NBA starting history. He was also the first quarterback to start as a freshman.
Yeah, if you know NBA, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, Marcel Reese is going to be a dude. I can't wait till Lane Kiffin gets a hold of him.
Yeah,
he's going to be special in that offense.
I did a video breakdown of his highlights on Huddle, and looked at it and talked about it. And I made the comment, is like, you watch this kid play and you literally start to think, is this the quarterback that's finally going to get it done at Ole Miss?
You know the stuff they were trying to do, and here's a breakdown right now. You know the stuff they were trying to do with Matt Corral that didn't quite work because he ended up getting hurt instead, so it kind of backfired on him a little bit. I think you're going to be that's going to be the direction of the program under Marcel Reid. I mean, I think you're going to, I think he's going to give you everything that Matt Corral can give you, but he's bigger, more durable, better athlete. He's going to be a special dude.
I'm pretty fired up.
Yeah.
Tennessee just picked up or not picked up, but they had a commitment from November of 2017 who's finally going to be on campus here soon.
Oh, wow.
So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, okay. Mormon?
Yeah.
No.
Well,
He
BYU now?
When Butch Jones got fired, he left and went to Clemson instead. And now he's recommitted to Tennessee. He's going to come over for his last couple of years. So. Then Jay Dixon, running back. Yeah. But he was committed to Tennessee for a while. Yeah.
Didn't he go somewhere else too?
Yeah, after Clemson, I think he tried to go to West Virginia, but it was only for this fall, spring. I don't know. He went to West Virginia for a very short time. He didn't play any games there today.
By the way, West Virginia Pitt backyard brawl, first Thursday of the season. College game day is going to be there. I can't wait. I love the backyard brawl.
Oh, that's going to be sick, dude. That's going to be awesome. I think Pitt needs to join the Big 12 so they can have to reinstate that as a conference game.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how they look this year because Tennessee will play them. So
Pitt will be solid. They'll be solid. I mean, you lose Kenny Pickett. They're not a team that's going to reload.
Well, they lost Mark Whipple too.
Yeah.
He's going to. Mark Whipple decided going to a ship that's taking on water really fast at Nebraska was a better option than Pitt. So that tells you where Pitt currently sits.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah, he's making the same mistakes that Tommy Tuberville made at Auburn. That's what's happening at Nebraska right now.
So I mean, I think Scott Frost bought himself an extra year, but it's getting
hot
tricky
in here. Oh,
so take off. You want Scott Frost to take? Wait, no judgment.
Hey,
Sorry.
As a Christmas present for my uncle, who's a huge Nebraska fan, we took a picture of Burt Reynolds on the bearskin rug from Playgirl magazine, and photoshopped Scott Frost's head on there. There was even a helmet in there, whole Nebraska theme to him, and gave it to the Nebraska fan. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Just know,
it was pretty hilarious.
Yeah, we can get weird if we need to get weird. That's all I'm saying.
I thought that was after 9 when we got weird.
Yeah, we don't have our little rundown to tell me when Off the Rails is. So I guess we just got to. I guess we just got to start the show off.
There's nothing wrong with what I just said. Playgirl is not a dirty word.
Although if you can find that picture, I'm happy to put it on my little stand back here. Then we.
I can. He lives in Florida now. It's down here.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I need to borrow that for Wednesday nights.
Oh my gosh! I'm gonna have to stare at a picture of Burt Reynolds on a bear rug.
Yeah, just
oh my God.
completely naked, sitting in front of a Nebraska helmet.
Jake's like, can you go now?
No.
Go get it. Yeah. No.
Jeb, go get it real quick.
Yeah.
You know, we haven't really done a ranking segment yet, and we're not going to for a little while, but I did a little research today because I did want to kind of
What are we
be
ranking?
in tune.
We ranking receivers?
Wide receivers, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oof.
This would be fun.
But do you know which school has the 2 top receivers in career receptions in the SEC?
LSU,
Nope.
I do now, but no.
Alabama,
Nope.
Nope.
Missouri,
Nope. It's
Vanderbilt.
Yep.
Vandy.
What?
That's ridiculous.
It's Jordan Matthews and Earl Bennett.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
It's one of the things like mind blown.
Because there was
Yeah.
nobody else on the team, so everything
Because-
went to them.
And just so everybody knows, on our top 5 list, one of the rules we have is only 1 per school.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, like, we're gonna bite Vandy this week with our 1 per school rule.
Oh man.
Vandy,
Oh, my gosh.
Vandy may get in the top. Well, at least in the top 10. They may be in the top 5. So
Yeah,
Good for
I think Jordan Matthews, after looking at the stats, is a slam dunk for the top 5.
yeah, he might be. So
Yeah,
that's
dude was-
impressive. Vanderbilt's on there somewhere.
He was a
He's the-
special dude.
yeah, he's the leading receiver by 30 catches over number 2, over Earl Bennett.
Yeah.
Good not.
We got to
Yeah.
state these rules in this TikTok because I think people will get mad that we didn't just like put Alabama's starting 4 from 2020 in there.
Yeah,
I was going
the
to say Alabama can have a top 5 by themselves.
Yeah.
But which
can LSU.
we're going to.
So
Yeah,
can
but the
LSU.
fun thing about it is we're going to talk about the Alabama receivers to try and get to that number 1. Who do you put up there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
Yeah.
a tournament in of itself.
Yeah.
God.
basically you have 1 representative to go against everybody else.
We get 1 representative out of each team to go. It's like the World Cup final. Then we pare it down from there. So, okay, that's awesome. So, any other camp news before we get into this? 'Cause this discussion might take a little while.
Yeah, I think so. It's probably going to take a little while.
Yeah.
I think it's still too early, but we're excited that camp has started.
Yeah,
We're excited that Georgia hits the field tomorrow, so they're not kicking off till tomorrow. But I'm excited to see kind of who wins this Ole Miss starting quarterback job. I think that's going to be the most intriguing because in the entire conference because of what they do offensively. They're loaded up. You got Zach Evans, who I'm excited to see. I mean, Zach Evans is as special as it gets. I mean, coming out of high school, that dude was a home run every time he touched the ball. Man, it was, you just knew it was house. And the only reason he went to TCU is because he got in trouble in high school. He was good. He was a dog, but Kirby didn't take his commitment, and
thank you very much.
For various reasons. So you're welcome, Ole Miss, and we'll go from there. So
Should say not a problem with the kid at TCU. Not a single issue.
Yeah. I mean, not a problem. The coaching change they weren't jiving with. He wasn't jiving with the coaching change, and so he decided he wanted to come back to the SEC, and he felt like Ole Miss was a good fit, and it probably will be.
There were a lot of teams worried about him coming out of high school, but you're right. We heard nothing since then. So
Yeah, I mean it was probably big ado to about nothing, but
He's just a weird kid.
It probably came
that's
down
not
to spots were filling up, and he wasn't sure, and he might have been waffling himself, and there was some there was already that built in. Well, if you're waffling, you've got some baggage, so. You can't really waffle, and I think Kirby just made a decision saying, okay, well, enough waffling. We've moved on, so good luck.
And Kirby got his title, so it doesn't matter what Zach Evans does. But if Kirby would have not got his title and Zach Evans went somewhere else and had an AP-like career, AD-like career, Kirby'd have to answer for that.
He would. But luckily for his sake, he's got He's got running backs out the yin yang. He's got tight ends out the yin yang. So we're good on those positions. So let's talk wide receiver.
Mm.
Talk wide receiver. Okay, so
Yeah, let's
here
start out.
are the ground rules. Okay, our last top 5 has gotten 455 views, and we got in trouble for not putting Derrick Henry in the list. But so what?
Yeah.
So here's the rules.
Hey, I was voting for him. Go ahead.
One player per school for the final. Then we pare it down to 5, and then we order the 5. So we get our 5 finalists, and then we put them in order. So we break it down. Several schools have multiple options,
Especially here.
Especially here. Especially. Am I pointing the right way? I don't know. Jake, the one that's road tide. All right. Yeah. So
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
now we got it.
Got to
now.
point the opposite side of the screen. Oh, well, you can't see my hand, though. Doesn't help if I point off screen. It's over there. You see that one?
Yeah.
It was right here?
Yeah.
Over there? Okay.
This guy.
Should we
down
start
there.
with the easy schools then and then move to the hard ones? We almost start with the hard ones. I don't know.
Let's start with South Carolina. That's an easy one.
Oh, let's go east to west.
All right.
There we go.
South Carolina. We'll start in South Carolina. That's probably the most eastern school in the league.
Well,
Is it Alshon Jeffrey or Debo Samuel? That's kind of where we got it narrowed down to.
Or Brian Edwards. Everybody forgets about Brian Edwards because Will Muschamp coached him. But he was a good player. But Alshon Jeffrey is probably the guy.
He's a good finalist, but he's not Alshon. He's not Debo.
what about Sidney Rice? Y'all remember him?
Ooh,
Dude.
that's
a good selection.
Yeah.
I don't think he's quite Alshon Jeffrey, but
No, he won't be Alshon Jeffrey.
I think Alshon is the guy for South Carolina.
that is a good submission. Yeah, I think it's Alshon. I think it's Alshon narrowly over Debo.
Yeah.
Debo was a pain in the ass, but Alshon Jeffrey was a difference maker on those South Carolina teams that Spurrier took to 11 wins, which for South Carolina that's a huge deal.
Yep.
All right, Gators. Who's it?
Ike Hilliard.
Yeah, Rito Anthony.
Dale Anthony, Jacquez Green, Ike Hilliard,
Chris Doering.
Chris Doering.
Chris Doering, Percy Harvin.
Percy
Harvin's a
Harvin.
good one.
The only problem with Percy Harvin is they were in that offense and they didn't really know how to use him.
Unfortunately, Kyle Pitts is a tight end, so he won't fit into our tight end discussion. But Kyle Pitts is really the best receiver.
Oh, Jabar Gaffney, that was a good one.
Oh,
He was a dude. He just didn't have the quarterback to go with it.
Yeah, he didn't put up the stats.
He had gross Rex man.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of the other urban guys.
The highest Florida receiver in a season yardage, Travis McGriff.
Crime Dog.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wouldn't have guessed
Okay.
that one. All right.
Yeah.
I just don't know my Florida receivers
Yeah, I was gonna say.
because
Carl-
they're the Gators.
Yeah, Carlos Alvarez is actually on there from the '60s, but so he was the Cuban Comet. They did a SEC story on him.
Oh, that's cool. Well, him
And
either.
yeah, and Rito Anthony is like 19th at like nearly 1,300 yards.
Mm-hmm.
So who are we choosing? They're not going to make the top 5, but who are we choosing?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I mean, the most exciting one to watch was Ike Hilliard.
Ike Hilliard, yeah.
Yeah, but
Like,
was Ike Hilliard better than Rito Anthony, or is Ike Hilliard just making money off of that one catch where he did crazy ACL tear things in the Sugar Bowl?
I mean, I think he's getting a lot of his juice from that. I would say I would if I'm picking a wide receiver one from Florida, I think it's got to be Riedel Anthony.
Yeah,
Just
he
production
was
wise,
really good.
He was a dude, but Ike Hilliard was lightning in a bottle. He was a home run.
And the
Correct.
best one that I saw at Florida was Jacquez Green.
Yeah, because he could do it in special teams too.
Mm-hmm.
I hated
Got
Jacquez
Percy.
Green. I hated him. Why? Because he was so good.
Yeah.
He would break your back on a punt return.
But the middle of the field, like back then, Steve Spurrier and his offense, looked at the middle of the field as a negative, and now with the RPO, all the conflict players, everything's happening between the hash marks, and the outside receivers are getting messed. I think Jaquez Green being a slot receiver actually hurt him.
Yeah. What about Kadarius Toney?
No.
Yeah.
Good player, no.
He didn't put up the stats that some of these did.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, he's going to be a force for the Giants, I think.
Yeah.
He absolutely will be, but in Florida's pantheon, he's not going to crack the top 5.
So I would be willing to say that Jaquez Green is probably the better receiver, but Riedel Anthony's got to be the answer.
It's got to be the numbers, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, moving north. The Dogs.
Fred Gibson.
Georgia?
Oh.
Freddie G. It's got to be Hines Ward, right?
No, it's AJ Green.
I was going to say AJ Green.
Terrence Edwards,
Terrence Edwards was he was a dude. It's
Israel
Troop.
You don't realize that Georgia has some dogs. No pun intended.
Yeah. Hey, Israel. There you go.
Yeah, Israel Troop. He was a dog.
DGD.
I'm curious to know what he would say. I'm curious to know because he played alongside AJ.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
AJ Green, Terrence Edwards, Hines Ward.
Gibson.
Fred Gibson was very productive. I don't think he moves the needle as much as those other guys, but
Bryce Hunter.
Yeah, Bryce Hunter, Juan Daniels was productive for Georgia. I think if you look at kind of Mark Richt's style of offense, kind of spread things out a little bit. So you had guys like Marlon Brown, Tavares King, Fred Gibson, Michael Johnson, Brian McClendon, Damian Gary, who was like our version of Jaquez Green. It was kind of like a spread the love type situation. Well, you had Jim Donnan, it was get the damn ball to Hines Ward and Champ Bailey because Champ Bailey played both ways.
Oh, I'm just picturing Quincy Carter out there dealing.
Dealing, and they go like, can you imagine like that 98 team, 98, 99, those 98, 99 teams were freaking loaded with NFL talent. What was their record? 8-4.
Yeah,
it was unreal. They had probably the two best defensive tackles in the entire country, Stroud and Seymour.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
I mean, it was nasty. They had Champ Bailey on offense. They had Kirby Smart played for those teams.
I forgot about Champ Bailey being there too.
Yeah, Champ Bailey, Juan Daniels,
and they went 8-4.
Yeah, Mike Bobo was quarterback. God. Quincy Carter was quarterback for some of those years. They had some really nasty teams under Ray Goff that were like 6-6.
Yeah.
With like Eric Zier, like you have Eric Zier at quarterback, you have Garrison Hurst at running back, and you go 6-6.
Convinced they just did not know how to build an offense around those guys. Ray Goff just couldn't do it.
He just folded like a cheap suit. Mm-hmm. School was good. I didn't have any kids yet, Cass. I didn't have any kids, so it's all in service. So it is what it is.
Next week we'll get better stories.
Next week you'll get some stories.
So we narrowed this down to AJ Green and Terrence Edwards.
Let's go AJ Green.
Yeah,
I was gonna say Hines Ward was an impressive receiver, but AJ Green was just like
he was
ideal number one receiver. He was just so good.
Yeah,
and Pickens is an honorable mention. If he didn't get hurt, Pickens would have been the dude.
He is what Georgia wanted George Pickens to be.
Right.
Yeah.
And George Pickens just had that catastrophic injury and couldn't quite produce that level.
Yeah.
But he's kicking ass for the Steelers. So AJ Green.
AJ Green. Yep.
All right, let's move north on I-75 to that school that wears orange.
Tennessee.
It's Peerless Price, right?
Well, stats wise, it's Joey Kent. Joey Kent put up huge numbers, but in his defense, he Shooter throwing to him for a couple years, and then Peyton Manning for a couple years. So yeah, he put up giant numbers. But Peerless Price was a lot of fun to watch.
Marcus Nash
was really good. I remember him too.
Robert
Meacham.
Jawan Jennings was the people's champ.
Jawan Jennings was my favorite one because of how
he's like the Ike Hilliard. That Hail Mary is what Jawan Jennings makes money off of. Willie
no,
Dole, Alvin
No,
Harper.
Yeah.
He was just
Ooh,
he was just so
Harper.
physical. He was kind of like our Heinz Ward, you know.
Yeah,
he's out there
Jennings
just
is the
knocking people
people's
over.
champ, dude. Jennings is
Yeah.
a dude, man. He's a regular. He's a fixture in that 49ers receiving core.
What about Dante Stallworth?
Oh yeah,
Oh
Stallworth.
yeah, until that
Stallworth, Robert Meacham.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's was one? Didn't y'all have a guy that played in the Pruitt era that was just a stat monger, but could get anything going or like?
I'm gonna say something that is going to be potentially unpopular. Cedric Tillman.
That's a good one.
Not yet, but yes.
That's what I'm hoping he's in there.
Yeah.
Like this is the
one
year
more-
that he puts himself in there.
One more year like last year, and all of a sudden he vaults up and he's the number one guy in Tennessee history.
Yeah.
I could see that.
It's possible.
I don't like it, but I can see it.
2-star out of high school.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Incredible.
yeah.
Now, dude, it's just like you just forget about him. I couldn't remember his name for a long time. Like, we're number 4, and he fucking killed us. There goes our clean rating.
There goes our clean rating. Corey.
Well, we made it past 10.
That's
Yeah.
good.
There you go.
We made it, Pat. We made it out of the family hour, so we're good.
Yeah.
So
Who are we picking?
Fearless Pickens, Meacham.
I am
Kent.
team. I'm team Joey Kent probably.
Joey Kent put up the stats for sure.
Yeah.
if you look at pure stats, it's Joey Kent.
Yeah.
If you look at just electrifying production, one and natty, just kind of the overall impact, it's got to be Peerless Price.
Again,
Right.
one catch. He caught a bomb against Florida State in that game, and there's a
Well-
lot of capital was won off of that.
He put up huge stats too, though. I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
say
No,
he's
no, I'm
definitely
not saying he's
close
not
number 2
good.
to Kent.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's not
But-
good. Yeah,
But he had Peyton for some of his career too, so you know,
Right.
yeah.
for most of it actually, except for that senior year. Yeah.
All right, what's the final verdict? I'm good. I'm good with Peerless and Joey Kent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good with those two. Those are my submissions.
Oh, we're
I'm-
not making the top 5 anyway. I say Joey Kent.
Yeah, I was Joey Kent.
Joe
Joey
Kent.
Kent. All right, Kentucky.
Craig Yeast.
Yes.
They've had wide receivers.
Stevie Johnson.
Stevie Johnson, Wandale Robinson, Lynn Bowden.
Lynn Bowden. Oh yeah, I do remember him.
Wandale was a fucking beast.
Wandale, and he looks like he's going to be great.
Just going for it, huh, Corey?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
going for it.
Well, we already ruined the clean rating, so might as well.
Derek Abney.
Derek Abney. That's a good choice. Cass, I'm going to go wash my mouth out with soap now. I'll be
You
right
need
back.
to.
God, I've been on the football field too long. I get in football season, the F-bombs just fly.
Oh,
I wouldn't
Like a
make it on local radio.
like apparently a Vandy quarterback because their receivers blew my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. All right, Derek Abney. They're not making the top 5 either.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
Prob-
stats-wise, you're
Robert
probably right with Craig Yeast, but
Craig
he had
Yeast.
Tim Couch, so, I mean, I'm just
Right.
saying.
He had
well,
Tim
the-
Couch and Mike Leach.
Yeah. It's back when the air raid was a cult, full circle, circular.
No
Yeah,
shit, no. He came from BYU
Yeah.
and Iowa Western.
Yeah.
Yeah, and make them primary instead of like as part of a balanced offense. That's all he did.
Yep.
Yeah. He's like, see the grass, throw it there.
Pretty much.
That's your read. Find
he
the
also-
open receiver.
And he also figured out a 9 route, a deep route. If the receiver just looks back to the quarterback while he's going down the field, all of a sudden you have 4 options to complete that pass.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right.
So
right,
yeast on
Derek-
that one.
Yeast. Yeast.
Yeah.
All right. Vanderbilt. This is the tough one. Earl Bennett or Jordan Matthews?
Or
I'll
Boo
take
Mitchell
Matthews.
or Kalijah Lipscomb. They're all in the top 15 in SEC career receptions.
How?
Because it's like the fantasy football principle. You get
Oh my
behind so
God.
much, you have to sling it.
Yeah, I was going to say,
that's-
who else were they going to play when Jordan Matthews was playing?
The answer
Where were
is
you going to put the ball?
we wanted to talk about them and give props because this is a fun thing where like one receiver per school. Whenever we look at one per school, Vandy's getting screwed here because they can legitimately have 3 on the list.
That's true.
But the answer is Jordan Matthews.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the tiebreaker is the pro career, and I think Jordan Matthews had the longer pro career.
Yeah, Earl Bennett's the first one I remember just being really respecting a player from Vanderbilt. But, yeah, Jordan Matthews was better.
Jordan Matthews.
Jordan Matthews is
Beast.
electrifying. He's big. He was a red zone target. Earl Bennett was not quite as big. He was a slot guy, wasn't he, Steve?
Yeah.
My memory serves me correctly.
Mm-hmm.
He was Cutler's best option.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait, you're talking about Matthews?
No, Bennett.
Bennett.
Bennett, yeah. He was a slot guy, and he was Cutler's only option.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
those Vandy teams would go 4-8 and 5-7 and would be good enough to
Yeah.
beat Florida or somebody every now and then. With Jordan Matthews, those teams with Jordan Rogers and I forget
There's
the second
Jeb.
Carter Samuels.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There was a 9-win team in there somewhere.
There was back-to-back 9-win teams.
Yeah.
And
That's
Jordan
crazy.
Matthews has more, like the second, third, fourth, and fifth, 2 catches separate them. Jordan Matthews is by himself by 30
That's
to get to the
incredible.
second place team. He's a dude. He's going to get on the top 5 list, and Vandy deserves it for him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, so
Yep.
Jordan Matthews. That's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Let's head down 65. Let's stop in Tuscaloosa. Dreamland Barbecue. There's-
Oh, there's a tough one.
Let's do Auburn first because that'll be quicker.
They have receivers.
Yeah, I was going to say, who's come out of Auburn?
Like Ricardo Davis,
Carter Davis.
Devin Aromashadu, Ben Obamanu,
Or
Seth
Chappelle
Williams.
Gaffney, Yeah.
Seth Williams.
Yeah.
Darius Slayton.
And no matter who wins this is not going to be on the top 5 anyway because they just don't recruit receivers down there. So why don't we just say Ben Obamanu because it's a fun name to say.
Hey, I'm good with that.
I'm good with that too. I'll throw in Darius Slayton because he was on my dynasty team for a little while.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, let's go back north to Tuscaloosa.
Road Tide.
All right, so you got you got the starting X and Z receiver for Brody Correll's teams in there. Just kidding. All right, so you got this guy named Julio.
Julio Jones. Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I think it's got to be Devontae Smith because he got us a Heisman.
Okay.
I mean,
I hear
not-
you. I hear you. But he played 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
If several of these receivers had played 4 years, they would have
They
trumped
would've.
his numbers.
Yeah, that's true.
So is DeVonta Smith actually better than Amari Cooper? That's probably the question, right?
Could be. I mean,
Yeah.
I see
think
better
so.
than the Ridleys.
I think
Yeah.
he's better than Amari Cooper.
I was gonna
Is
say,
he better than Julio? Julio's like the measuring stick here, right?
Yeah, Julio was the one that started it all.
Was that Greg McElroy?
Yeah,
Yep.
and then Sims, I think, right?
Mhm.
No. After McElroy was McCarron.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. So you got Calvin Ridley.
Mhm.
You got Julio, Calvin Ridley, Amari Cooper, Devontae Smith, Jaylen Waddle, Jerry Jeudy,
Slade Bolden.
Slade Bolden. That's the one right there.
My favorite out of all of this group was Jaylen Waddle, but I can't justify him being on this list.
Who?
Jaylen Waddle.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean he was just electrifying in special teams, and
Yeah.
he was kind of like Jock West Green.
Tennessee wouldn't hurt him. He'd have more stats. But anyway,
Tyrone Prothro.
Tyrone Prothro.
Oh, that catch against Southern Miss, he'll always have that.
Yep.
If he wouldn't have got injured, he would have had a great NFL career. But
That was probably the most
Oh,
gruesome
wait.
injuries.
yeah,
Wait, real quick, David Palmer.
I don't remember David Palmer. When did he play?
Wasn't he a running back though?
No, David Palmer was a wide
Okay.
receiver back in.
Okay.
I can't believe I'm having to say this, but back in the mid '90s, after
Yeah.
the starting quarterback got injured against a tough Ole Miss defensive team, they basically put David Palmer in at quarterback, and Alabama won the
right.
game like 15-10.
that's
Basically
right.
running the Tebow offense.
Who was the leading receivers for those 92 for the 92 team that won the Natty over Miami?
Yeah, he probably had about 25 catches because with those two defensive ends, you only had to score 13 to win.
That's true.
I can't think of it.
I know Jay Barker was the quarterback,
Yeah, Jay
Yeah.
Barker's quarterback.
and
All right, so really, what we're trying to do,
Sherman Williams maybe at running back.
Dabo
Sherman-
Sweeney.
No.
greatest receiver in Alabama history.
Woo!
No.
Book it, Dabo Sweeney.
Absolutely
Team
not.
Dabo.
Book
No.
it. Hey, can he be 1 through 5 on our list? It's just Dabo, the whole list.
No, because only one team,
Yeah.
one receiver per
Dabo,
team.
not Debo.
Well, he is one receiver, but he's in 5 slots. That's how good he is.
No.
Hey, did you guys realize
He slides in.
that in
over
Dubai
there.
the Flintstones isn't that popular? They don't like it at all.
Mm.
But but Abu Dhabi do.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, okay.
Well, I quit.
I'm out.
Bing!
Good Lord.
Oh, man. Are we just that delirious? Okay, Julio Jones, right?
I was gonna say I'm not as good at keeping up with stats. Just never have been. It's not been one of my big things. I don't know if my views being tainted because of his NFL career. Like if somebody like Devontae Smith or somebody will rise on my list. But for right now, Julio Jones was just an iconic receiver, and he came from Alabama. That's who I would vote for.
Homegrown.
Maybe
Foley,
there was
Alabama.
in college. I just don't remember. I don't know.
I mean, I think it comes down to Julio versus Devontae Smith at this point.
Yeah.
Well, if that one is going to be Julio.
Yeah.
So I think it should be Julio.
Yeah, I mean, Devontae won the Heisman, won 2 natties,
It's true.
or was it?
But
3?
that was back. Julio played back when Alabama didn't win Heisman trophies.
Yeah, when they didn't have quarterbacks very much.
He would.
Well,
It would have
I
been
mean-
a different story if he played in 2020.
Yeah, it would. be.
Yeah, I mean, but he still. I mean, he did all of that despite that, and laid the groundwork for.
Yeah, Greg
Man.
McElroy of Ole Miss's defense can't stop a nosebleed fame. It's like
Yeah.
you didn't even watch the second half of last season, did you?
Yeah.
I don't know if Julio or Amari had stayed for their senior season. Their stats would just be ridiculous.
Yeah, but if you're Julio, you're not staying for your senior season.
No,
Well, you're going to be
you take those
Freaking-
millions of dollars.
Yes.
you're going to be the 5th overall pick.
Yeah,
And then it was like, you're drafted by the Falcons. And he's like, no.
Ah,
Then he went
shot
on.
it, Corey.
Well, he had Matty Ice. had the Iceman.
no, they still put up his numbers.
Oh, dude, him
did.
and Matty Ice put a freaking legendary. So Julio's going to get Matty Ice into the Hall of Fame, and that's the reason why I'm voting Julio.
Okay, there we go.
Julio. There we go. I'm fine with that.
All right, Julio Jones. Okay,
Next,
LSU.
Oh, you
They don't
left
have
out the
any- no.
landmass. There's a state in between Alabama and Louisiana.
Is there?
Yeah.
I think it's more to the side.
Gotta brush up on my joke. No.
Yeah.
Okay, Ole Miss.
More to the
Uh,
left.
well, Ole Miss is probably A.J. Brown, but Laquan Treadwell and Dante Moncrief deserve discussion. Elijah Moore is actually damn good too.
Yeah.
Was
But
Laquan Treadwell-
probably A.J. Brown.
AJ Brown was electrifying.
Yeah. Laquan was the one that got his leg broken in the end zone, right?
Yeah, that was the one. And the Auburn newspaper showed the leg being broken. They put that picture up on their newspaper with a headline that said "Finding a Way."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Oh my god.
Miracle of miracles. We stabbed his leg.
That was
Yeah.
that was a great headline.
Yeah.
And
But
AJ
before
Brown,
that-
I just remember him being on the Titans and they traded him, of course.
Oh God, that hurts so much.
It does.
And just completely overshadowed poor Traylon Burks getting drafted. I was so happy with that, but so upset.
I know.
Brown, you couldn't even be happy.
I know.
But anyway, but before his leg got broke, Laquan was a lot of fun to watch. That guy was crazy good.
Yeah, he was a monster.
Yeah. But I think you're right. I think, you got to take all that into account. A.J. Brown just had the better career overall and was also a lot of fun to watch. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. So AJ Brown's the vote.
Yep.
yeah.
All right, Mississippi State. Do they?
They have wide receivers?
I was going to say, I have no idea who.
Eric Moulds, Fred Ross.
Oh, there you go.
Eric Moulds went there? Okay.
Yeah.
Eric Moulds, because that's the only one I've ever heard. That's the only one I've heard of.
Yeah, see, I didn't even know he went there. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, he had like 27 career catches, and then went to Buffalo.
And dominated.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing career there, but.
Who was his coach? And when he was at Mississippi State.
Who?
Jackie Sherrill.
That's right.
Who invented cheating? Reinvented cheating, I should say.
Yeah.
Okay, LSU.
Ooh.
This is another tough one. Jamar Chase is up there, of course.
Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson,
Yep.
Josh Reed.
Josh
Reid.
Reid, yeah, he was.
Early Doucette, Jarvis
Early
Landry,
Doucette.
Odell
Is that
Beckham
Michael-
Jr.,
Michael
Dwayne Bowe
Clayton.
went?
Michael Clayton,
Yeah, that's where Dwayne Bowe went.
Yeah.
Dwayne Bowe, Devery Henderson.
Good grief, LSU.
God.
Yeah.
Got to narrow this one down, too. Oh, my God.
Skylar Green.
Wendell Davis.
Wendell Davis, yeah, I remember him. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
Old Wendell.
Oh, darn. I don't know.
Brandon LaFell.
Oh, God. Really?
That sounds familiar.
He played for the Patriots for a long time.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Damn.
Yeah.
So we're going to put them in brackets just to narrow it down to one to put in this bracket.
Okay. Let's start with Josh Reed.
Yeah.
Stat wise, I mean, he put up numbers, but like Jamar Chase, if he played all of his years, would have probably trumped that, right?
Yeah, had 20 touchdown catches in 2019.
You
Chase
gotta
did.
you gotta think Jamar Chase would have just obliterated.
My God.
Yeah.
The top receiving touchdown is Jamar Chase, and the singles 2001.
So I said Jamar Chase.
Yeah, Jamar Chase. I'm a huge fan of Josh Reed. Had a pretty good career with the Bills, although he had J.P. Lossman throwing him the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah. That's not much you could do about that.
No.
Yeah, that's just that was one of the that was a byproduct of the Music City Miracle just destroying a franchise.
Yeah.
But also the Josh Reed situation, he was the Tim Tebow, whatever, the random fact guy in the SEC for like 3 years while I was going through. It's like, did you know that Josh Reed used to play running back?
I did not know that.
Vern had to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Wow, Tim Tebow. Vern, he's 6 years old.
The top 6 seasons in receiving yards, 3 Alabama, 3 LSU.
It's ridiculous.
Yes, probably. Did the Bills have Josh Reed and Eric Moulds at the same time? No, we just
Yep.
talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, and they have no quarterback that entire time. That's terrible.
Yeah, that's terrible. Very terrible.
They had to
J.P.
change helmet.
Lossman, they had who else did they have? They had some other slappy.
Probably Ryan Fitzpatrick.
No.
You can say that and be right on half the teams in the league. For sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
for sure.
yeah, I don't know if that was that time.
He probably played for them once.
He did. He played a few years there, actually.
That's the fact that we remember Josh Reed and Eric Moulds in the NFL is amazing, considering the quarterbacks they had. They were good.
It was a brutal situation. Those uniforms were just iconically ugly too. So it was like a double whammy. Like they look like.
Oh, he had 3 years of Drew Bledsoe, by the way.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
By the way, Ryan Fitzpatrick was the correct answer. He was the quarterback there from 2009 through 2012.
Oh, Lord. Of course he was.
And then they did the EJ Manuel experience, Kyle Orton, a little bit of Tyrod Taylor, and then Josh Allen.
Tyrod Taylor, yep.
Oh, Josh Allen.
But
okay, so Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I was going to say
Jamar Chase.
Displaced him, apparently. So.
Jamar Chase. All right, Arkansas.
Kobe Hamilton.
That's a good one.
Treylon
Burks.
Treylon Burks has got to be up there.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely one of the only ones
Jarius Wright.
I forgot about Jarius Wright.
No, Jarius Wright.
Okay. All right.
Joe Adams. It's all from that Petrino era at Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was probably.
This says Anthony Lucas, but I don't really remember him that well.
Jarius Wright has the most receptions per game in Arkansas history. Touchdowns in a season, Jarius Wright, followed by Marcus Monk.
I do remember him.
You have touchdowns for a career, Marcus Monk with 27, Jarius Wright with 24. Most 100-yard games, Anthony Lucas and Anthony Eubanks, 97-98. Teammates each had 5 apiece. Kobe Hamilton, Jarius Wright, George Wilson, Mike Rapond, Jared Cornelius. So, like, Marcus Monk's not even on his list. Oh, there he is. He had 3. Keon Hatcher is an honorable mention. Most 100-yard games in a career, Anthony Lucas from 95 to 99 with 11.
Ooh.
Followed by Jarius Wright.
Yeah. And then Jarius. How many did Jarius Wright have?
He had 11. No, he had 9.
9?
He was number 2.
That's quite.
Him and Eubanks. Eubanks had 9 from 94 to 97. Jarius Wright had 9 between 2008 and 2011.
Probably Jarius Wright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm thinking Jarius Wright or Marcus Monk here. Marcus Monk is at the top of a lot of these lists. Jarius Wright, list of 100-yard games. Oh, that's just the list of the games. I don't really care about that. Let's see. Most receptions in a career, Kobe Hamilton, followed by Jarius Wright, followed by Joe Adams. So Jarius Wright had 168 career receptions. Kobe Hamilton had 175. Receptions in a season, Kobe Hamilton, number 1 with 90. Jarius Wright is 66.
By the way, before we go any further, I think we skipped Missouri on the eastern side.
We're going to Missouri.
Oh yeah, Missouri and A&M both. A&M's Western.
We're just going geography here.
Oh, I thought we were doing east or west.
Oh, gotcha.
Not Eastern Division to Western Division.
Okay.
Just like I'm
going back to sleep.
Like we're going on a road trip here, bruh.
Got my mental map.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We've made a snake in the car here.
Okay.
These college towns. So we gotta go north.
There's way too much we done that shit, Corey. Come on now.
It's gone down. At least it has in Tennessee.
It is a little bit here now.
So we're down to Kobe Hamilton versus Jarius Wright.
I think it's Jarius Wright.
Because Kobe Hamilton has made a lot of these lists, and they were teammates.
Yeah.
For partially.
Yeah, I think it's probably Jarius Wright.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the one that kind of jumps out. Okay, so Jarius Wright.
Mm-hmm.
Not that he's going to make top 5 anyway. But
right.
And Missouri.
Jeremy Macklin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Jeremy Macklin. That's a good one.
Yeah. Dorial Green Beckham.
That's another good one.
I remember that one. Let's see.
I think Macklin's top 10, though.
There's a Bud Sasser in touchdowns.
Bud Sasser.
Yeah, but he was from 2014. I was like, okay.
What about Brad Smith?
Brad Smith was really good. Okay.
Brad Smith, but I just think of him as a quarterback.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think it's Jeremy Macklin.
You know who leads in receiving yards of all time?
Who's that?
Denario Alexander. 2,700 career single season. Denario Alexander, Justin Gage single game.
Justin Gage played for the Titans for a while.
That's right.
So you have here's your top 5 in receiving yards in Missouri history. Denario Alexander, Justin Gage, Chase Kaufman, Jamon Moore, Jeremy Macklin.
Chase Kaufman was a tight end.
Yes.
Well, it's receiving yards. So,
But this is wide receivers, Corey.
Man, they Big 8 more than I expected them to Big 8.
I'm just giving you the list of receiving leaders. So the fact that a tight end is number 3 tells you everything you need to know about Missouri football. Career receiving touchdowns. Tight end. Chase Kaufman. Single game, Dorial Green Beckham with 4 and Jamon Moore.
You know, we need to have the conversation. Was Chase Kaufman the best receiver at Missouri?
He probably was.
Yeah.
He probably was. The most notable is Jeremy Macklin because it was pretty clear, But
if we're going to do tight ends at some point, we can't put them on this list.
Yeah.
Right.
But their most productive was Denario Alexander. He was their most productive receiver.
I think we're going to go. I'm going to go Jeremy Macklin.
Yeah, let's go Jeremy Macklin. Not going to make the list anyway, but we're going Jeremy Macklin. Okay.
I like that name.
Yeah, see, that's called an inferiority complex. It just
Right.
happens.
And I love she said Notre Dame. I love it.
Notre Dame.
Yeah, I can't stand
Been
it.
running my mouth on Twitter. Oh boy.
Yeah, I know.
Just wait till Texas is in the SEC.
Have fun, Jake. Yeah.
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 Oh, I can't wait for the annual UT telling UT that each of them's back. I can't wait for that.
I know it.
Hey, I've got a
Battle
friend
for the
that's
real UT.
I got a friend that's a big Texas fan that would love to come on the show sometime. We'll bring him on and explain to him why he's not the real UT at some point. You know,
Let's bring him on
not just-
after Alabama beats them in week 2. So
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go.
I tell people whenever they say Texas is the real UT, it's like Tennessee was a university before Texas was a state.
Yes, right.
right, yeah,
That's right. The
exactly.
university was founded before.
Yes.
Georgia is the oldest
Upstate.
state-funded university. Just keep that in mind, UGA.
Huh?
Well, you're 13 original colonies, so
Right, exactly.
you had a shot.
Yeah.
And we took it, and we hit it.
First of the 13 colleges that needed state funding, apparently.
Right, yeah.
That could never be Mr. Jefferson's University.
Mr. Jefferson University, yeah.
Thanks, Alexander Baldwin. All right, so.
I think A&M is going to be easy.
Oh, shit, I forgot about A&M.
Outside
Mike
of,
Evans.
Usually,
outside of Mike Evans, I don't know who to
Yes.
pick, so yeah.
Yeah.
it's either Mike Evans or Ryan Swope.
Right.
Yeah.
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans owns the receiving career, the touchdown career, all of that there at Texas A&M. So
It's not
Yeah, that
Ryan
makes sense.
Tannehill?
No.
Okay. All right,
Although he
so
turned into a
Mike
heck of a
Evans.
quarterback.
Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so I think we can pretty much narrow this list down now to our top 5 pretty easily. I think Jordan Matthews, slam dunk. Jamar
Number
Chase, slam dunk. I think Julio, AJ Green, slam dunk.
Yep.
So now the front runner for the 5th spot, which not really a 5th spot, but the 5th seat at the table before we rearrange them again. The person who's in the driver's seat for that is AJ Brown.
Yeah.
Or Alshon Jeffrey. So I think we're choosing.
It's AJ versus Alshon, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're choosing between those two. I mean, Mike Evans, does he get a shot at it?
It's 1 year. He had 1 year.
right.
Yeah.
Jarius Wright, does he get a shot at it?
No.
Probably not.
I think it's AJ.
It's got to be Chase Kaufman then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next week, tight ends. We will talk tight ends in the SEC next week.
That'll
Little
be
Jason Witten.
That'll be fun.
A little.
Yeah.
Rufus French, Chris Mangum,
We can fit all that into a single.
Benjamin Watson.
Hernandez. Oh, wait.
Georgia tight end you. Georgia could have 5 of them by themselves.
Not according to our rules. No.
Yeah.
Well, if our rules didn't exist.
That's
So-
on your world, Corey.
Yeah. You run 5
Rules.
personnel. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. And we'll do it, and you'll like it. Okay. A.J. Brown versus Alshon Jeffrey. What do we? Who do
AJ.
you like?
Yeah, I think
love
AJ.
I love
Yeah.
AJ Brown, but I don't know.
It's got to be A.J.
Oh, okay.
Got to be A.J.
Alshon, that was at a time when South Carolina was good because you had Alshon, you had Marcus Lattimore, you had Connor Shaw, and that is the one time in their
And
history
Clowney.
that they
Clowney.
were
God.
relevant. They were actually relevant. AJ at Ole Miss won 6 games once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
But
say
they
that-
won.
I
They
say
won
that
6
even
games
with that on
once,
the wall.
scoring points.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
their defense was
But that's-
comically bad.
That's an
Yeah.
Alshon put up.
Let's give it to Alshon.
No. We'll go with AJ Brown. I don't know about that. Plus, isn't that the guy that Lane Kiffin told would be pumping gas one day or some shit?
Yeah.
When he was
God.
in Tennessee, which just still makes me laugh.
We don't
God.
pump. He said the same thing to what's the court? Taj Boyd.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Remember that? That was fun.
Yeah. We lost that commitment.
No.
Okay, so our 5. Here's our 5. A.J. Brown. A.J. Green. Julio Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Jamar Chase. A lot of J's here.
Yeah.
And Jordan Matthews.
Jordan Matthews. Yeah.
The fact that a Vandy receiver is obliterating any record is
It is my
No.
favorite thing ever. It is my
Yeah.
favorite thing ever.
They
That's
could have
incredible.
receivers on before Tennessee had won.
Make sure we tag Jordan Matthews. I think he will respond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
right now, I'm going to argue for Jordan Matthews being number 1.
I'm fine
Make
with
the
that.
argument.
So now when we rearrange our top 5, what what are we looking for? So we got our 5 guys. We got AJ Brown, AJ Green, Julio Jones, Jamar Chase, Jordan Matthews. Are we looking at pure stats? Are we looking at impact? Are we looking at because Jordan Matthews created probably one of the best seasons in Vandy football history.
And
But they won 9 games and went to the Music City Bowl.
Yeah, Vandy in back-to-back years won 9 games, which is for other schools like going 12-0.
Yeah.
So is that? Are we looking at overall impact? Are we looking at, obviously stats included in that, but are we looking? I mean, let's define what we're looking for here.
Yeah, I think it's a totality. It's like the stats are important, but also what resulted from it.
Right.
Okay. So what resulted from AJ Brown?
Not much. He was just really
So-
good. He's
so
back-to-back
he's number
leaders
5.
in SEC. Yeah, he's number 5.
So he's 5.
Yeah.
And based on our rules, one player, one school. Obviously, there's a million receivers ahead of him, but since we can't put repeat guys on there,
Yeah.
he makes it. All right, number 4. It's got to be AJ Green, right? Put up some numbers. Didn't really that was kind of Rick's dark years.
Yeah.
So he was a highly productive electric receiver for Georgia.
Is that
But
Aaron
just
Murray
didn't-
time frame?
Yeah. But they just didn't collect the wins. He got suspended. There's just no other finalist representative. I would argue maybe you could say Alshon Jeffrey versus AJ Green even.
Yeah. The thing about AJ Green is what he did is he took half of the field and everybody was trying and they knew they had to stop him. He was such a dominant player. And because of that, Georgia just wasn't very particularly good during that time frame.
Defense was non-existent.
But the offense really clicked because AJ Green, I think it was, did he go up to Notre Dame and make an end zone catch or something?
No, that was Terry Godwin that did that
Okay.
one. He went to Colorado and made a similar catch.
Yeah, that's the one. And he just consistently made unbelievable plays when teams doubled and tripled him. And because of that, A.J. Green, like he went to the NFL and, God bless him, he went to the Bengals, but
They couldn't keep him healthy.
yeah.
I mean, he had an injury on Hard Knocks where he just their practice field is so crappy that they just they pushed him. They pushed him and he ran 3 feet out of bounds and ran into some gravel and twisted his knee up and missed half the season.
I bet it ain't like that now.
No, he's in Arizona, dude. They're they got him wrapped in bubble wrap.
Right.
All right, so AJ Green, number 4.
Yeah.
Dominant receiver. The stats probably don't match up to the rest of these guys, but the impact that he had on defenses, it forced you to get creative with your coverages so that you could stop it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, number 3. It's got to be Julio Jones for the same reason.
Yeah.
Julio started the run of receivers at Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
He laid the groundwork for those natties. He was on those. He was on the early teams. He won one in 2009, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he
he's
laid
a plus AJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a plus AJ. So they're kind of in the same category. But Julio, I would put Julio ahead of AJ. Okay, so that leaves us with Jordan Matthews and Jamar Chase as 1 and 2. Now, the total impact that Jordan Matthews had on the SEC and at Vandy, you couldn't. He was just open all the time. When you watched Vandy highlights, it was just Jordan Davis going this boop, 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 down the field. I mean, he made a similar impact that AJ Green made, and he had the numbers to back it up.
And
he put up numbers superior.
Jamar Chase, 1 year. It was a heck of a year. It was a magical year, but it was 1 year.
Yep.
It was ridiculous. So
and then he just sat out.
Yeah.
So should we amend this list and put Jamar Chase at number 4 and bump Julio and AJ up?
I would have put Julio above him, and I hate saying that. 'Cause
I
did we
so
do that
because
it's a single year?
Because Jamar Chase had an amazing year, but if you look at the stats and the numbers and what actually happened, he was kind of a plus Mike Evans.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just that flash in the pan. It was nuclear. It was big, but it was 1 year. So
Okay,
I would put Jamar Chase at number 4 and move Julio up to 2.
Yeah, so Julio goes to 2, AJ goes to 3.
And Jordan Matthews number 1.
So that leaves Jordan Matthews as your number 1. And
Back-to-back 9-1 seasons at Vandy, 30 catches above number 2 in career receptions, and he's also second on the career receiving yardage list. Yeah.
What about touchdowns?
Touchdowns, just a second. I will look that.
What about them tutties?
Let's see, career touchdowns.
And I was gonna say he might not be. Are you talking about just at Vanderbilt or overall? It might not be real high overall, but that's because Vanderbilt didn't score a whole lot.
Let's see.
But doing what he did at Vanderbilt is just impressive.
Yeah, no help. I mean, Jordan Rodgers. Yeah. Jordan Rodgers doesn't get on The Bachelor if Jordan Matthews is just a regular dude.
Yeah. 19th in touchdowns. Jordan 24 total.
24 total. Yeah.
Yeah. So they put up a ton of yards, just couldn't put it across the end zone.
Yeah.
Okay. So final recap.
If I remember correctly, they use tight ends and things like that in the red zone. James Franklin,
Pinckney.
Yeah. They tried to find mismatches and problems, and they would use Matthews between the 20s.
Yeah.
They actually have Matthews listed as a tight end now for the 49ers.
He had to kind of redefine his career. I think he had some injuries, and I think he probably put on some weight, and they said, hey, if you want to play, we're going to list you as a tight end. So
he's also probably around 34 years old at this point.
Yeah,
he was extremely productive for the Eagles for quite a few seasons, actually. I think if
he's
you could be
30.
productive, I think if you could be productive in the NFL for at least 5 seasons, I consider that a success because the NFL is a chew you up and spit you out type league. And the fact that you have these guys that have double-digit careers, extremely productive, that says elite.
Like Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, Calvin Johnson played college ball, got drafted, and entered the Hall of Fame all within Tom Brady's career.
It's crazy.
That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
remember when we all laughed at Tom Brady saying he wanted to play to 45? Because I think today is his 45th birthday.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't doubt that he could play to 50.
I don't either.
Dude's a cyborg, man. I don't think he's human. Like if you don't believe in aliens, just go look at Tom Brady. That dude is an alien.
I mean, I'd not change the subject real quick, but if y'all remember of those who watched the Braves on here, you know, we had a player back in the early 2000s.
Julio Franco.
Yeah, he was like 49 and still hitting home runs.
Yeah.
Dude swung like a 36-inch bat.
Yes.
He had this goofy stance. He had this enormous
I was going to say, was he the guy that put it way above his head?
Yes.
Oh,
And I had a baseball card back from the Topps collection that was like really famous in 85 or 86. I forget which one, of Julio Franco when he was with the Indians.
Yes.
Yeah.
Guardians now.
Yeah. I saw,
Don't get canceled, Steve.
No,
PC.
then there were the Indians.
Yeah. Then there were the Indians.
Yeah, you can't pretend that didn't happen.
We have to ignore all prior history. It's the Cleveland Guardians from here on out.
The movie Major League never happened.
Yeah, never happened. We have to ignore all Cleveland baseball. We just consider them now the Cleveland Baseball Club.
That's right.
Yeah, there you go.
Just like the Washington football team.
Yeah.
That's right. The Washington football team Commanders. Okay, so final recap of our list.
Okay.
Top 5 most impactful wide receivers in the SEC history.
Only one per team.
Only one per team. Those are the rules. We narrowed each team down to one team. We had 14 finalists. We narrowed that list down to 5. Now, obviously, LSU and Alabama could have filled this list easily by themselves. We get that. But one team, one person, one team. So it makes it a little tricky. All right. So number 1, based on these rules, number 1, Jordan Matthews, back-to-back 9-win seasons at Vandy, all-time career. Second all-time in career receptions.
Receiving yards. He's
and
the leader
receiving
in
yards.
reception. Yeah.
And leader in all-time receptions, second all-time in receiving yards.
Leader
And
by 30.
leader by 30 catches. Like he leads it by 30 catches.
That's incredible.
So
Yeah.
did it at Vanderbilt.
That's
Probably had
key.
the best 2-year run in Vanderbilt football history.
At Vandy.
Yeah. Got himself drafted, was productive for the Philadelphia Eagles. Got some injuries, whatever. All right, number 2, Julio Jones was just a dominant player. Revolutionized the wide receiver position at the University of Alabama. Got Nick Saban to realize that, hey, it is okay to recruit explosive receivers. He paved the way for guys like Amari Cooper, Calvin Ridley, Devontae Smith, Jerry Jeudy, Jaylen Waddle, those guys, and paved the way for those guys.
So many receivers. Good grief.
And I'm probably leaving some out, and I apologize for that. But
Henry Ruggs.
yeah. So he paved the way for them. Was just a beast. Commanded defenses to really adjust their coverages. Probably led to the explosion of combo coverages because defenses had to find ways to contain him. He normally took 2 DBs with him. Won a national championship. Probably could have won a Heisman if they recognized that at Alabama at that point. Played only 3 seasons. Then got drafted. All right,
Absolutely
AJ Green.
dominant.
AJ Green, number 3. Again, our rules: 1 player per team. So AJ Green won it for the Dogs. Equally as dominant for Georgia. Had some unfortunate luck with injury and suspension due to a rule that would just be laughed at in NIL today. He signed a few autographs, got a few dollars, and got hammered 4 games by it. Got left completely hung out to dry by Georgia's AD.
Yeah, AJ and Julio, same guy, basically. They did
Yeah.
defenses the same way. The only difference is Julio got the natty.
Julio's bigger and physical. I think Julio has Julio has better physical attributes, and Julio got the natty. That's the separator. But AJ Green commanded defenses the same way, similar way that Julio did, and just made more ridiculous catches than Julio did, and was partially responsible for Aaron Murray being one of the leading passers in UGA history. Number 4, Jamar Chase had the magical 2019 run. Probably would have replicated that in 2020. Decided to sit out, get drafted. We know what the impact he had was in the NFL, but he had probably one of the most impactful monster seasons for LSU. LSU had a host of bodies in there that could have been Josh Reid, Jarvis Landry, Early Doucette, Devery Henderson,
Odell Beckham,
Wendell. Wendell
Davis,
Dwayne Bowe,
just
his
teammate
Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a bunch of honorable mentions, but Jamar Chase, I think, had the most impact in totality. I think did a lot of similar things that AJ Green and Julio Jones did to defenses, but put up production for a full season and got a natty. So he gets the nod at number 4.
Yeah. The reason he's at 4 and not higher on the list is because it was 1 year and he just decided to sit out.
Yeah.
And
if he would have played that 2020 season, he'd probably been number 2.
Yeah.
Because he may have gotten 2 natties.
Right.
And then number 5, A.J. Brown. It came down to, honestly, A.J. Brown versus Alshon Jeffrey. Alshon Jeffrey probably had the better team around him and probably helped South Carolina through their best 2-year stretch in school history under Steve Spurrier. Was an absolute force, kind of like what Julio did at Alabama, but with lesser talent. So like they couldn't quite break through. They made an SEC championship 1 year, got absolutely destroyed.
Alshon beat Alabama 1 year.
Alshon beat Alabama 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
They got absolutely destroyed by Auburn in the SEC championship that year. Really, they got destroyed by Cam Newton.
Yeah.
So, but AJ
Brown
Brown was just electric. AJ Brown just commanded so much attention from defenses, and just put up just stats galore for Ole Miss. I mean, you look at Ole Miss receivers, and the first name you think of is AJ Brown, just because he was so electric. He was so game changing. I think he kind of started the identity of the Ole Miss explosive offense. You can't think of that and not name AJ Brown.
Yeah.
I think he's the beneficiary, the one that started. It was like Moncrief and Shea Hodge and those guys about 10 years earlier.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
He's the one that kind of
he's the one that took it to the next level. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he kind of like they started it, he launched it, and then now Lane Kiffin and crew have kind of they're kind of taking it and running with it as well. So
And
AJ Brown gets the nod. I know there's going to be some debate there, I guess, with Alshon Jeffrey and a few other guys, but some other notables, some other honorable mentions: Mike Evans, Jarius Wright, Jeremy Macklin made it for Missouri. We had for Florida, we had Reidel Anthony. For Kentucky, Derek Abney. Or Craig Yeast. It was Craig Yeast, actually.
Yeah.
Tennessee had Joey Kent, and Auburn had we said Obamanu, but really we could say Darius Slayton. We could say Seth Williams for them. Alabama, obviously Julio Jones with honorable mentions we mentioned earlier.
Mississippi State, Eric Moulds.
Mississippi State had Eric Moulds, and did I leave anybody out? I don't think I did.
I think you got everybody.
So that's our list. We're going to post that, so make sure you comment, make sure you follow, like, subscribe. So, guys, that was fun.
And if you're fired up about these lists and you want to have your say, come watch the live stream next week, and we're going to talk about defensive ends.
Next week is defensive ends. All right.
It's going to be tough for Alabama. I think I know who the GOAT is, though.
I was going to say, Tennessee's got one, so...
I think if you leave this one particular guy off the list, then we should just be canceled.
Yeah.
For Alabama, or you just mean the list in general?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I think he mentions Will Anderson. He's probably talking about, and then you've got the Minister of Defense, and then I've got crazy Greg Hardy.
Yeah.
And then,
I mean, you also have Derek Thomas at Alabama too. So
yeah. Cornelius Bennett. I mean, you guys have had some dudes. I'm not. So we'll have another situation like we had this week, where you get to name 8 players and only one of them.
David Pollock, yeah.
David Pollock.
Yeah.
Did you know him
He was
and David Green played Pee Wee together or something?
They did?
Yeah.
Where'd you hear that from? That's exciting. Okay, yeah.
All right.
Josh Allen for Kentucky.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Jadeveon Clowney.
Oh, he's got to be up there.
The LSU ones, I can't wait to break into that because they've had some dudes as well.
Yeah. Marcus Spears.
Yeah.
Mississippi State's had some guys on the defensive line as well.
Swagoo, yeah. Montez Sweat.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah.
This could be a fun list.
Yeah.
This will be a tough one. Like, I think it'll be fairly easy for most schools to get their finalists, but I think when we cut it down to 5, I think that's going to be where we have to make some controversial cuts here.
Yeah, probably.
So stay tuned. Top defensive ends coming next week. So if you want to get on the discussion on the live chat, do your homework and come on in. So
Derek Thomas versus Will Anderson. Go. Oh, never mind.
Wait. Who?
That's gonna be tough.
Who are those guys? Go Dogs. So okay. Well, that's gonna do it for us tonight. We're gonna jump on out of here. We are SEC After Dark. This has been a great show. We're back at it. Fall camps are starting, so you'll hear more talk on that. We'll probably interject a little bit of NFL news because it's the NFL. It's the greatest league in American sports. And we will also continue our lists, and into the season we can do power rankings if you want for each week based on how each team performed. So we'll come up with some metrics to determine a list of teams in our power rankings so that it doesn't include Alabama number 1 every week and Georgia number 2 every week, or vice versa. So we'll have some metrics that'll make this thing interesting. So,
what about the 4 panel here? Since we do the top 5 greatest players of all time at each school when Wednesday night too.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean we could do our 4 schools starting out. That would be fun. I think for the power rankings, here's my idea for the power rankings. Hear me out, and you guys listening, you can chew on this too and give us feedback. But when I'd play golf with my dad and his golf group, to make it fair, because let's be honest, my dad would take their money every week if they just did it straight up. He was just so much better than they were. And so they made this scoring system where based on what you shot the previous week, you had to, and based on whatever stat we wanted, they had a plus or minus system. So if, you wanted to be the person with the highest plus would usually win the pot that week.
Oh, so par instead of being 72 might be 93 if you shot a 93 the week before.
So so let's say you shoot a 93 and then the next week you go 86. Well, that's you're improving your score by this much.
7.
So they had this plus or minus system. So going down was the way they scored it. It was like a improvement versus regression.
My golf game usually goes up each time. So
so you would not have won this pot. So
right.
So
I usually don't.
So if you have a particular bad week and then you come back with and go low the next week, you're usually probably going to win the pot.
Mm-hmm.
So the people with the big swings usually won the pot.
Right.
And there were some off weeks where my dad was just even Stevens and was plus or minus 2 every week.
Oh wow.
So he kind of stayed in the same range. So unless people had these giant improvement swings, like usually, like he would win most weeks. So let's think about that. Let's chew on that for when the season starts. We got a month, so we can chew on that for our power rankings. So
wait, don't Vandy have a game here in August against somebody? Don't they open up like the 28th or something like that?
Yes, they go on the road at Hawaii, and they're a 7-point favorite on the road. Hawaii must be dog shit.
Yeah,
yeah, no kidding.
Bad sign for Hawaii.
Terrible.
I mean, they got to fly out there, jet lag, all that, and they're still 7-point favorites.
They got to travel 36 hours to Hawaii. They're probably their budget is so good they're gonna use canoes to get over there. Because they have to build a new science lab. We're saying, all right, sorry, Vandy, you're taking a cruise ship.
Yeah, well, that's
Well,
a big budget.
This is their bowl game for the past
Pretty
4
much.
years. Yeah,
It is their bowl game. Okay, I get it. Hey, cruise ship, why not? Okay, so we are SEC After Dark. This is the Y'all's Conference Network. Also coming at you on the audio side on the Bleav Network. For Steven, Jeb, and Jake, I'm Corey. We thank you for watching. We thank you for joining us. Please subscribe. Join in next week, and we will see you back here this time next week. We'll be talking about defensive ends. Goodbye. Go Dogs.
Roll Tide.
Big orange.
Yeah.
Gosh almighty.
Oh, hell.